crowded around the radio so we could listen to the verdict. That's how, like, they stopped what they were doing. Everybody had to know.
Yeah. Yep.
So.
All right, here he comes, Nigel Seeley. We love talking to Nigel. Golf, soccer at Seeley_Nigel on Twitter. The Premier League is back today. 2 matches and then 2 more on Friday, and then we got a quadruple header on Saturday. They'll be playing every day here on national television. Great for the Prem to come back. How are you going to approach this, Nigel, with the first, well, I guess anything here, with the long layoff? Not only that, with the long layoff, Nigel, but also some of these clubs like Sheffield United and Man City have a lot of games out of the gate. United plays 3 road games in 8 days, and Pep actually said, we're not ready, we're not fit. We play Wednesday, Monday, Thursday, Sunday.
Yeah, well, firstly, good morning to you. Looking at I thought when you were talking about 26 years ago today, I thought you were talking about England beating Switzerland in the 2004 European Championships, but obviously, clearly not. But anyway, let's move on to the big Premier League game this weekend. I think it's going to be difficult for bettors and for bookmakers, as I've said all along, for the games coming back from this lockdown. I think we all know what they've got to do. They've got to come out fast. They've got to come out fit. But there's so many problems with these football clubs behind the scenes where a lot of players are out of contract in July. A lot of teams have already said that players won't be playing. They're not extending short-term contracts. And I think the ramifications are going to be seen 2 or 3 games in. At the moment, we have huge optimism around the start of the Premier League. I've been quite pessimistic of it. I haven't really been excited about it. But as the days dawns, I've started to think about it a bit more, and I've started to become a bit more excited. I found a little bet tonight I think we should have. And now I'm getting a bit more excited. But I think it comes with caution. I think all these games are very, very difficult. And, we had three games in 8 matches. These players would be playing in the European Football Championship as we stand now. So, if they were successful in that tournament, they'd be playing 8 games in 30 matches. So, they're athletes. They've had a long rest. They'll be okay. Mm-hmm. It's more the players that are out of contract and players that want big moves that probably will be going through the motions in 2 or 3 games' time. I think the first couple of games, everybody will be up for it. But as we go on and the games come thick and fast, I can see a lot of players becoming disinterested and a lot of teams with nothing to play for becoming very disinterested very quickly.
Yep, I could see that. Do you lean Villa today? A huge opportunity with the match in hand, as they're in the relegation zone, and with a win, they would get out of the relegation zone here.
I do. I actually do. I think if you look at the Premier League when it was stopped, there's a couple of teams that were absolutely flying. And Sheffield United were one of them. Sheffield United were the bookmakers' favourites to finish bottom of the Premier League, and they were in a verge of playing European football, which was a fantastic achievement by them. The manager, Chris Wilder, has done an amazing job at Sheffield United, and the squad he's built together with no money has been punching way above their weight. And I think of all the teams in the Premier League, one team that didn't want the season to stop when it was Sheffield United. And I think it's going to be very, very hard for them to bounce straight back from the levels that they found themselves in 3 months ago. You've got to remember, if you went back a year ago, these two sides were both in the Championship. There was nothing much between the two of them. And if you had Aston Villa as a home side in this game, you'd probably be looking around about even money, maybe a slightly bit of odds against for them to win this match. Now, a year down the line, the fortunes of the two clubs have changed, but everything is there for both sides. Aston Villa need the points to avoid relegation, and Sheffield United need the points to try to get Premier League football. There is some injury news coming out from Sheffield United. I'm hearing that there may be 3 or 4 players that they'll be missing tonight. They're certainly without one of their main defender is ruled out for the whole of the season, and I don't think they're going to be really the same Sheffield United you saw 3 months ago. The problem is that they're so hard to break down. Defensive, they've got a very good side. They've got a fantastic goalkeeper who's one of the best young goalkeepers in England, and they're hard to break down. So I don't think goals are going to be. There's going to be many goals. And I think it'll be quite a nervy game. And so for that reason, I've gone for Aston Villa draw no bet here. They were decent money, plus money. I think they were plus 130, something like that. That line is steadily going down, and I expect it to go a lot further down as the team news comes out. But I do think the draw potentially is a huge contender in this match.
Yeah.
And the reason why I like the idea of getting that draw no bet. But I think Sheffield United are a side that may struggle on the comeback, because I think injuries and the levels of play that they were playing at before pre-lockdown is going to be hard to get back to. So tonight I'm leaning to I'm going to back Aston Villa, and in the other game, well, that's a bit of a minefield. I mean, I'm tempted towards Arsenal on the handicap if you can get +1 goal as a push. I think there's going to be goals in that, and Arsenal have nothing to lose, nothing to lose at all. Go to Manchester City, really take the game to. I think it could be quite an entertaining game, and I think it's all about Man City. How are they going to take the game? How are they going to be prepared? But at the odds, I've got to give Arsenal a chance, because what we've seen all around Europe is away teams that have way outperformed what their potential is. And Arsenal, at the prices tomorrow morning, we could be looking at thinking, why didn't we back Arsenal? They were a decent bet. But I'm going to probably have a slight lean towards Arsenal +1 goal.
Okay. It's tough to bet soccer. It's tricky. What do you like to do with big favorites? Yesterday you had a winner in 2 pushes. And the 2 pushes were on the big favorites, and Barcelona won 2-0. You laid 2 goals. If you would have gone to bet, and you can do it over there where you're at, bet to win to 0, you would have gone 3-0. I mean, how do you like? It's difficult when you like a favorite, but there's so many different ways to bet it. If you can explain that, what you decided to do.
I like the bet to win to 0 games where a big favourite is playing against the side at home, and the side at home just come there to park the bus essentially and try not to break down, because you only have to look at the possession stats last night in the Barcelona game. I think Barcelona had 80% of possession. So that I like the win to 0 in certain games. But what I have found in these matches in particular, if you're a home dog, you're a home favourite, and we're betting a -1 or -2 goals, when they have 70,000 fans, they're screaming for 3, for 4. They want them to go all out attack, and the other team are completely decimated, and they just have attack upon attack upon attack upon attack. You know, I've been at grounds where in England when they've been 4-0 up, and the crowd are singing, "We want 5, we want 5." You know, it's exactly the same as football. Once now teams have won 2-0, Barcelona 2-0 up, they basically just sat back on their laurels. And now with 5 substitutes, with this lockdown now, you can have 5 substitutes. They've made 5 changes, and the last 20 minutes of the match have become basically a non-entity. There's nothing happening. And I think that's definitely an in-play bet here. So if you're taking these big favourites on the handicap, if you expect them to win 4, 5, 6s, that's not going to happen. I mean, if you look at the amount of games we've seen in this lockdown, really, apart from a couple of Bundesliga games with Bayern Munich have put 4 or 5, there hasn't been many really big one-sided matches. And I think it's the intensity of the crowd not pushing them on for that 3rd or 4th goal. It's got to the point where, okay, we've got the 3 points, we're 2-0 up, we've got a lot of games in a small period of time, as you just said. Let's just put 5 fresh legs on, keep the 5 players keen, and take the 2-0 and move on. So that's a big danger if you're taking the big handicaps pre-game. Obviously, in play, for what I do at Premier Sports Plays, we can't send them messages to people because it's real time, and people will complain that they never got the message. But if you are taking a big position pre-match, maybe look an opportunity to get out of it if you can in play, because I can't see sides going. I mean, for example, Liverpool, for example, they could be 2-0 up at the weekend. They've got 5 games in what, 20 days. They could take off Salah, they could take off Firmino, they could take off Van Dijk, put on 3 young kids, give them a run out for 15 minutes, and the next 15 minutes just completely pales into its insignificance. And that is where the big favourites usually kick on in any sport, when the fitness levels in the last 15, 20 minutes. And I don't think that's happening at the moment.
Okay. Follow the money, Paulie and Mitch VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Nigel Seeley, our guest, soccer and golf expert at Seeley and tennis, Seeley_Nigel on Twitter. 10 matches today. We just covered the 2 in the Prim. Any leans in Bundesliga or La Liga?
I like Leverkusen tonight away from home. I think they need the win because of what Gladbach did yesterday. And obviously, that I touched yesterday that it could come down to goal difference. So I think I expect them to put on a performance. You know, obviously, I've just said in the segment before that you don't really want to push on teams for looking for 2 or 3 to win by 2 or 3 matches. But in this occasion, I go against that because obviously they need to catch up some goal difference on the side in that Champions League place. So, you know, as a rule of thumb, don't go against that. But obviously, in an important match like this, it might be worth opposing. The other one I have a slight lean for, and I was going to actually write about this and send it out to subscribers today, but I decided not to. But it's a very, very slight lean. I think Mainz may trouble Borussia Dortmund tonight on the handicap +1.5. And the reason I like this is because the intensity of the game for Dortmund has gone, because last night Munich won the Bundesliga. So Dortmund are going to finish second regardless of what happens now. And Mainz are at the bottom. They need one more win for survival, really. I think they're three or four points above the relegation zone. So one win or a draw should really get them through. They have a huge game at the weekend against Werder Bremen. And I think that obviously this game here now is crucial to them. And I can see Dortmund resting a few players. Jordan Sancho looks as though he's going to go to Manchester United at the end of the season. A few other players will think, oh, okay, we're going to be runners-up now. There's not much to play. And I think last night's result with Munich winning takes a little bit of the intensity out of that Dortmund performance. So they may not be 100%. They could be playing at an 80% capability. May rest a few players, give some young kids a chance. And I think that gives a Mainz side who need the points a bit of an opportunity. I don't think they're good enough to beat Dortmund, but Dortmund struggled at the weekend. They're a 90-minute winner by Haaland in a 1-0 away win. And I wouldn't be surprised to see them struggle again in this one. And Mainz could go there to defence and frustrate. And if you can get Mainz +1.5, they probably have a small lean towards that.
All right, excellent job. Championships back Saturday. Prem's back today. And good luck out there, and we'll talk to you next week. Appreciate a few minutes.
Yeah, no problem, guys. Take care.
You too.
Thanks, mate.
It's Nigel Seeley. Bruce Marshall likes Atletico Madrid today on the money line. They play at 1 o'clock Pacific, and those games are on TV. He thinks he leans Eibar, Bilbao draw in La Liga. Likes Napoli +0.5 goal against, I think they're taking on Juventus. And then he also likes Leverkusen. I really like, you can lay the goal. I think they're 230 on the money line, or you can lay a goal -130. Cologne hasn't won since the restart. They're winless in 7 matches. And then 3 draws and 3 losses since the restart. And everything you just mentioned with Leverkusen, how they need this one in the worst way, too. So I would agree with him on that one. Bruce recommends laying the 1.5 with Dortmund. But Nigel makes a compelling case about certainly Mainz needs it more than Dortmund, as Munich won the league the other day. And then the big one, which we'll get to in pocket in 5 minutes. Schalke and Frankfurt. Frankfurt 12-1 overrun their last 13 Bundesliga matches. The total's 2.5, and Frankfurt's $1.40 at the Westgate, and Schalke on an 0-10-3 run. It's been forever since they've won a match. They're the opposite of Munich, who hasn't lost since December.
Yep, awful form.
Yes.
And to confirm Nigel's other play, it was Villa draw no bet.
Yes.
And that's around the +125 neighborhood today in their match. It's Follow the Money here on VSiN, the sports betting network. Up next, we will get some early in-pocket plays that we have for today and this week. And Steve Kerr said something yesterday that makes a ton of sense. That's coming up next.
VSiN, the sports betting network, has a new and improved website. Visit vsin.com to get expert betting analysis and insights on every sport. Read in-depth articles from VSiN experts. Sign up for our free subscription offer to watch live and recent video from Follow the Money, My Guys in the Desert, and all our VSiN shows. And remember to sign up for our free daily email to receive our best content directly in your inbox. Visit vsin.com for everything you need to become a more informed bettor. That's vsin.com.
If you didn't catch VSiN last week, here's some of what you missed.
I am never going to move off of this, and you and I have talked about this on this show, and we agree on it. Nick Foles should not be the odds-on favorite to win this starting job. Nick Foles should not be minus 305 to win this starting job. Mitchell Trubisky is going to be the starter week 1. I'm marking it down. He is going to be the starter week 1. Will he be the starter week 16, 17? That's another question. But week 1, it's Trubisky.
Yeah, I mean, if you work this, there's a thing called second-order thinking, and I think it applies really to bet.